How to heal from shame. Okay, I'm going to explain this as a process, not as a 10-step plan, as how the process of healing shame actually works. So, first, you have to recognize that this shame that we're talking about exists in your subconscious. You're not aware of it unless it's been triggered. So, let's say a situation arises in your day to day life, this shame is triggered. That means it moved from your subconscious into your awareness. In other words, you start to feel it. As you feel it, this dysregulates your nervous system, so you end up in fight, flight, or more likely freeze mode. Even when it hasn't been triggered, this dormant shame in your subconscious still affects you deeply because it affects things like your sense of identity, who you think you are, you feel like you're not good enough, etc. So now we understand how it works. Let's talk about the process of healing. So we have the shame wound. The shame wound exists in your subconscious. And surrounding the shame wound are things like negative core beliefs. So, what I said before, feeling not good enough, feeling like there's something wrong with you, feeling fundamentally flawed. Now, the negative core beliefs are held in place by other emotions, emotions like anger, sadness. Then, on top of that, because that causes a lot of disharmony within your system, you need things like defense mechanisms and coping mechanisms in order to deal with this. So you'll have a layer of defense mechanisms, which are things like denial, minimization. So your tendency to minimize your emotions, minimize your experiences. We also have the coping mechanisms, the ways that you use in order to manage all of this going on internally. That can be things like distracting yourself a lot, dissociating, or using things like substances or scrolling social media to cope with all of this disharmony, all of this discord. And then on the very top layer, we have nervous system dysregulation. So this is the outermost manifestation of the shame wound. I also forgot to mention, which is quite important, at the very root of your shame wound is in fact your authentic self. So we have your authentic self, your shame wound, your coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms, other emotions, nervous system dysregulation, all in layers. The relationship with yourself is fractured through this. This is the fundamental thing it affects, is the relationship that you have with yourself. So if you want to heal the relationship with yourself, you have to heal your shame wound. And the way to do this long term, to actually properly, truly do it, is to work down and heal on each of these different layers.